So we have
Okay.
Paul. He's a Pharisee in the
Right.
Second Temple period,
Right.
and they are obviously they're monotheists. They're of a Judaism of Pharisaism, right? Now,
Hmm.
also, so Paul starting out being a persecutor of the way or of the Jesus movement.
Right. Right.
I'm curious how, like, so we know we have the conversion in Acts, but
Hmm.
I'm curious about, as you say, like where a Pharisee would turn around and use Yod He Vav He text and apply to a man within his own lifetime. Like to me, that's huge. Like now, kind of looking back, I feel like we kind of lose that a little bit, but to
We do.
imagine being in making that jump at that point of time, like that's pretty huge.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing that people that don't think too much. They don't think too much in chronology, but Jesus died in either 30 AD or 33 AD. We don't know exactly. I sort of lean toward 33 AD. But Paul is converted. He has his conversion experience where he has an encounter, a Christophany with the risen Jesus, and that is what sort of re turns him around, as it were. Uh, and it's that particular event. But yeah, it's pretty remarkable to think that in just a short period of time like that, right? We're not talking about, and this is what some scholars say, well, these things took decades, or some people say these ideas developing took centuries to develop. No, in fact, the evidence shows that by the time Paul is converted, probably 37 AD, 4 years about after the execution of Jesus, that he and the church are confessing that Jesus is Lord and applying to him what I have termed in the book Old Testament Yahweh text. And I just think that's a remarkable thing to happen within such an early period of time. And there had to be some powerful influences on somebody like Paul in order to make him think that way, talk that way, preach that way. So yeah, I think you're exactly right, Alec.
And so another thing I've wondered about, so the Pharisees did believe in the afterlife, so we say like resurrection. The
Hmm.
Sadducees, I don't think did, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm wondering, so is the encounter with a risen Jesus kind of playing into that background of, so he's already expecting in their faith like a resurrection, they're thinking of afterlife, so now he's encountering, so he's thinking it's a false sect at first and he's persecuting them. But I'm wondering, because for instance, he talks about in his letters about even if an angel preaches you a different gospel, you don't listen. So he's very set in so you would think if he's not deceived there, even though it's a vision. That's what I'm getting at. Like,
Mhm.
is that resurrection playing into that his belief that this is God in the flesh, I guess?
I think so. I think the resurrection becomes such a powerful testimony. As a Jew and as a Pharisee, he would have believed that there would come a time in the future, sometime right before the judgment or so, that God would come into the world, he would intervene, and the dead would be raised. But that's off in the future. Now we have the testimony that this man Jesus, who was crucified in a shameful death, is now resurrected and is being exalted by Christians in such blasphemous ways. To say of Jesus that he is God in the flesh, if that's not true, that is a blasphemy, right? So I
Right.
think he was taking this early Christian testimony about Jesus as blasphemous, and that was one of the reasons that he was persecuting them.
Right.
But the resurrection plays very powerfully there. Yes, he has a vision. That is, he saw something, and he has an audition. That is, he heard something, but it wasn't a hallucination. It was a
Right.
real encounter with the risen Jesus. And
Mm.
that's how he talks about this. This is how Acts talks about it as well. That the risen Jesus appears to him in a powerful way that just changed, altered his life.